السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قال: فإن قاسم بينهم ولأحدهم مثيل في نصيب الآخر أو طريق لم يشترط في القسمة، فإن أمكن صرف الطريق والمثيل عنه، ليس له أن يستطرق ويسيل في نصيب الآخر، لأنه أمكن تحقيق معنى القسمة من غير ضرر.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم. ربنا لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا، إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. وتب علينا يا مولانا، إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. ربنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار. ربنا وآتنا ما وعدتنا على رسلك ولا تخزنا يوم القيامة، إنك لا تخلف الميعاد. اللهم نبي قلوبنا بمعرفتك، واشرح صدورنا بنور كتابك، وسنة نبيك، واستر أنزلنا وخطر في بيان مرادك، وجعلنا من ورثة نبيك حبيبك مصطفى صلى الله عليه وسلم، الناجين فيما تعلموا وعلموا، غير ضالين ولا مضلين. آمين. So yesterday we began the discussion on the manner, كيفية القسمة, and how the shared property will be divided. And I mentioned to you that there are 4 discussions under this particular chapter. One is with regards to an empty plot, how that will be divided, which we completed yesterday. The second discussion, which we also completed, was a building and a plot, how that will be divided. Separate buildings or buildings that are connected to each other in the same place or in the same town, in different venues in the same town, and so on and so forth. Now we come to the third discussion, which is with regards to the hukuk of a shared plot. And the hukuk we did before in the previous bab, or rather in the previous kitab. We touched on it actually, the kitabul, what do you call this, kitabul, in the kitab before this, the hukuk of the land refers to like the road then, that is shared between neighbors, or a waterway, and so forth. So those are some of the hukuk that can be shared. So if you have such a property that is co-owned and that have a shared common road, and or there is a shared water source, so what do you do then? So you're saying, فإن قسم Imam Qudri rahimahullah is saying, فإن قسم بينهم لأحد مثيل في نصيب الآخر, that if a property is shared amongst them, distributed amongst them, and for one of them is a masil, and a water irrigation system, في نصيب الآخر, in the share of the other. Right? So it's an irrigation system, but prior to the kisma, they were both sharing it. So be it a river, be it whatever. So they were both sharing that. Now, after the borders were drawn to separate and to individualize the shares, this one of the partners' share in the waterway fell into the share of the partner. So what do we do in such a case? Aw tariq, or the road, the road from the leading to the house, or from the house to the main road, whatever the case is. Then lam walam yushtarat fi al-qisma, and this was not stipulated in the distribution. So there was no stipulation that it must go to any one particular person. فَإِنْ أَمْكَنَ, so this is the first scenario, right? In Amkana, there's 4 scenarios under this particular masala. If it is possible, sarfu tariq wa masil, if it is possible to turn the road and the water source anhu, from him, then laysa lahu an yastadrika wa yusilu fi nasib al-akhar, then it is not permissible or proper for him, for the other partner, that he yastadriku, that he seeks to develop another road, or that he seeks to cut another road, or cut another water source, in the share of his partner. You follow? So if the road fell into the shared road, fell into the, so for example, we got Abdullah, we got, let's say Ahmed. It so happened that the water source or the road fell into Ahmed's share portion of the distribution. So Abdullah, if it is possible for us to draw the water from there to Abdullah's side, or to somehow get the road to be used by Abdullah as well, to gain access to the road to Abdullah as well. Understand? Then he will not be able to cut his own road and to make his own pathway, nor will he be allowed to take the water or to draw another water source using that original water source. Understand? Why؟ لأنه أمكن بتحقيق معنى القسمة من غير ضرر. Why? Because it is possible to do so while establishing the meaning of distribution, meaning separating the property without causing harm to any partner. So when this is possible, there's no need for him now to dig another road which will go through his partner's portion, or to cut another waterway to go through his partner's portion. Okay, a separate one. That's the first scenario. The second scenario, in lam yunkin, this is not possible. Fasakhatul kisma. The kisma will become null and void. Then the kisma will become null and void. Why? لأن القسمة مختلطة لبقاء الاختلاط فتستأنف. Why? Because now the kisma, the distribution, has become deficient because of the shares remaining mixed. Understand? فتستأنف, so therefore it will have to be redone. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
You understand?
Sure.
Right? So Abdullah will have to keep on going over to Ahmed to get water, or to go every time over to Ahmed's property to use the road to get out. Understand? So where's the separation then? So he's still infringing on the whole point of the kisma was to separate. Each one have their own individual properties without infringing, without impeding on the other person's private property now, which has become private property. This hasn't happened, understand, because it's not possible to share the waterway in a manner that they both remain on their own sides. So that's not possible. The kisma has to be redone, and they have to redo that. بخلاف البيع, contrary to if the person bought a property in this manner, where the waterway fell into the neighbor's property, and the road is in the neighbor's property, he has got no access. So the pay will be correct. The pay will not be the transaction, the sale of such a property will not become null and void. حيث لا يفسد في هذه الصورة, because in such an instance, such a scenario, the pay will not become fasid, null and void. Why? لأن المقصود منه تملك العين, because the purpose of a transaction and the purpose of buying something is tamallakul ain, to become the owner, to take ownership of a particular property, to take ownership of a particular item, ain, to take ownership of it. وأنه يجامع تعذر الانتفاع وإنه يجامع تعذر الانتفاع في الحال. And in a business transaction, you can have a situation that it is difficult to take benefit from it with the sale. Jama to be together. See? So it is possible to imagine a scenario where the person owns something, but at the same time, at the same time, you find that he's unable to take benefit from it. That can be imagined. And so you bought something, but you can't take benefit from it. Okay? Like a person, for example, bought a second-hand treadmill, and the key to the thing is lost. So he's got the thing, but he can't use it. Understand? He lost the key maybe on the way from the shop, whatever, or he brought it home. The child was playing around with the key, and now they want to use the thing, they can't find the key. So we can imagine a person owning something and not being able to take benefit from it. That doesn't go against the correctness of a transaction, business transaction. Okay? So, but however, here, um, أما القسمة لتكميل المنفعة. But the purpose of qisma, of distribution, dividing each one's share individually, is لتكميل المنفعة, then to complete the benefit of the item. And the whole point is to take benefit. There we can imagine an item being owned without taking the benefit, but here we can't imagine that because the whole point of it is to take benefit, then to take complete individual benefit, individualized personal benefit from the thing, without the partner interfering. ولا يتم, this hasn't been complete. ولا يتم ذلك إلا بالطريق, and that cannot be completed except with the use of the road. Understand? So this is where so as I said, the problem in this mas'ala is with regards to the hukuk itself, not towards the property. We can divide the property and the land and the house and whatever, but the hukuk, the rights that are attached to it, is sort of becoming a problem. Okay, so that's what we are discussing here. So in this case here, without the person having access to a road to come and go to his side of or his share of the division, he's unable to take full benefit. How is he going to get to his house and out of his house? ولو ذكر الحقوق في الوجه الأول كذلك الجواب. And if the hukuk was specifically stated in the first instance, in the first scenario, that the first scenario is the one that we just started with, understand that it is possible for him to divide it and to take benefit from the waterway and the road without cutting a new road and without digging a new waterway or water source, then and it's stipulated in the agreement, it will go into so and so share, whatever. Then he's saying كذلك الجواب. Then the same, the masla is the same. The masla is the same there. And لأن معنى القسمة الإفراز والتمييز, because again the whole purpose of the qisma is ifraz, to separate and to distinguish one partner's or one co-owner's share from the other. وتمام ذلك بألا يبقى لكل واحد تعلق بنصيب الآخر, and that is completed by there not remaining any connection whatsoever of one partner's ownership to the other one's share. وقد أمكن التحقيق بصرف الطريق والمسيل إلى غيره من غير ضرر. And again, in this third scenario, as in the first scenario, it is possible to establish that by turning the road and the water source to the other one without causing any harm to that person's property. فيصار إليه. So therefore we will resort to this. And this is the solution. We'll go to that solution. It doesn't cause anybody problems. So we'll resort to such a solution. بخلاف البيع, contrary to the business transaction. إذا ذكر فيه الحقوق, where in the instance in the business transaction, if the حقوق are even stipulated, then حيث يدخل فيه ما كان له من التريك والمسير. So even if it is stipulated that the person will not be entitled to the use of the road or the use of the water source, it will automatically be included. Okay? That which is of the road and the water source will automatically be included in the deal. Okay? لأنه أمكن التحقيق معنى البيع وهو التمليك مع بقاء هذه التعلق. Because in this instance here, it is possible to establish the meaning of a business transaction, which we mentioned above is tamlik, to become the owner of something, مع بقاء هذه التعلق, together with this connection remaining بملك غيره, in the ownership of somebody else. Okay?
Okay.
Understood that?
Sure.
Okay. وفي الوجه الثاني, and in the second scenario, يدخل فيها, it will automatically be included in it. لأن القسمة لتكميل المنفعة, because again, Kisma is to complete the benefit of individual ownership. وذلك بالطريق والمسير, and that can only be done, that can only be accomplished with the use of that public road and with the use of that common water source. فيدخل in the تنسيس, so therefore it will be automatically included when they specifically mention it, تنسيس, when they when they explicitly mention it, باعتباره باعتبار keeping that into consideration and taking that into consideration. وفيها معنى الإفراز, and in doing so, then there is and in doing so, in it is the meaning of ifras, complete separation. وذلك بانقطاع التعلق على ما ذكرنا, and that is by having no connection whatsoever, as we have mentioned before. فباعتباره لا يدخل من غير تنسيس, so taking this ifraz, the separation, individual ownership into consideration, it will not be included without specifically mentioning it. بخلاف الإجارة, contrary to إجارة. Okay? In إجارة there, when you're hiring a place, حيث يدخل فيها بدون تنسيس, in إجارة it will automatically be included even though it's not specifically mentioned in the contract. Because how else is the benefit person? Because again, إجارة is for manfa, and إجارة is bayul manfa, bayul manafi. So where's the manfa if you can't use the road, you can't use the water? You follow? So in the ijara, even if you specify excluded, it will automatically be included. Okay, and in a kisma, in the kisma, if you specifically mention it and there's no other way, then it will be that condition will be overlooked, will be overruled. Okay? And yes, if it can be, if it's not possible and the person can dig his own waterway and so forth, then we can consider it. لأن كل المقصود الانتفاع, because in ijara the entire purpose is intifa, to take benefit from the utilities of the place that you are hiring. So in the ijara, when you're renting a place, you don't own the place, you own the right to use the utilities of the place, the water, the lights, to stay there, to sleep there, to eat there, to live your life there. So you have the right to use the benefit of that house, not to own the house itself. The ain. You don't become the owner of the ain, you become the owner of the manafi of the ain. G. وذلك لا يدخل إلا بإدخال الشرب والطريق, and that cannot be attained except by including the water source and the road. فيدخل من غير ذكر, so therefore it will automatically include even without any mention in the ijara. Right, so that's the 4 scenarios there discussed under that one. Now we come to the next masala, which is with regards to any what you call this, if they have a difference of opinion or is an argument concerning the hukuk. To what extent does the hukuk extend to? So what's the word? This is like can't get to that thing now. Anyway, Bismillah. ولو اختلفوا في رفع التريك بينهم في القسمة إن كان يستقيم لكل واحد تريك يفتحه في نصيبه قسم الحاكم من غير تريك يرفع لجماعتهم لتحقق الإفراز بالكلية دونه. If they have a difference of opinion amongst themselves, the co-owners, if they have a difference amongst themselves, في رفع التريك بينهم في القسمة, in whether they want to include the road amongst them in the kisma, in the division. Some are saying, yes, let's include the road in the division. Some are saying, no, there is no need to include the road. Just the land, just the property, just the house. You don't have to include the road. إن كان يستقيم لكل واحد طريق يفتحه في نصيبه. If it is possible, so in this case, if it is possible for a road to be opened in each one's share, each one's portion, then the Hakim will do so without including the road. Without including the road, um, which has been left for the entire Jama'at. لتحقق الإفراز بالكلية دونه. Why? Because it is possible to separate each one's portion in total without including the road. وإن كان لا يستقيم ذلك رفع طريقا بين جماعتهم. And if it is not possible, then it is not possible to establish that, then in that case you will include the road amongst the Jama'at. Understand? You will include the road in the Jama'at to distribute. And the Jama'at meaning in the group of owners. ليتحقق تكميل المنفعة فيما وراء الطريق. In order to establish complete benefit in what is beyond the road, meaning in the properties. How else is the person going to get to his property if he doesn't have access to the road? So because the road in this instance plays a very integral, important role for them to access the actual thing, which is the property or the estate that they're gonna own. Because the road, they cannot get to their homes or to the houses without the road. So therefore, it will have to be included by necessity, due to necessity. Okay, even if they didn't want it to be. Okay.
So you will make a road that leads to both of the houses.
No, if that one road allows common access to everybody, then it's fine. If it cannot suffice just the one road, then you'll cut a road, yeah, to each one's. They have to have a road going off that to each one's property, off the
So
main
that
road.
if the road of one leads to both, will that part of
That
the
will be
road
fine.
be divided between the two of them? Or
No,
that
no. If
part?
it's leading to both, then it's fine because yeah. If the one road leads to both, then it's fine. There's not a problem because then in that case, the other one isn't actually going onto the other one's property as such. He's just using the common way. You understand?
Okay.
You follow? It's almost like if you're driving to your house and you have to go past your neighbor's house. So you're not in any way interfering in your neighbor's property. You follow?
Okay.
So in that,
Yeah.
just like how we did in above the so now it's right. ولو اختلفوا في مقدار. Okay, so that was with regards to the houses. Okay, we'll stop here, inshallah. Not much left, inshallah. We'll see how far we get tomorrow, inshallah. Bismillah ta'ala. Gee, any questions? Anything you didn't understand? Okay, inshallah. سبحان الله وبحمده سبحانك الله وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك تقبل الله منا ومنكم السلام عليكم ورحمة
Moulana,
الله.
I just see there's a question here. The second to
Yes.
last line from the bottom. It's رفع طريقا.
Can you just read the passage?
رفع طريقا بين جماعتي.
رفع جي رفع جي رفع طريقا جي بين جماعتهم جي referring to the Qasim. Rafa meaning Al-Qasim. The Qasim is the arbitrator.
جزاك الله خير.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
وعليكم السلام.